welcome to another episode of playonultra podcast. This is episode 171.
Woohoo! It's a palindrome, which
Woo.
is about the only thing special about that number.
We're back after a month-ish.
Yeah.
COVID is still here. Son of a bitch.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure if I was officially home when we last talked. I think I was like, we don't know. But yeah, we are. I'm now home and have been for I guess about 4 weeks now. Gosh, it feels like
the lockdown
forever.
has been extended to the 28th here.
Yeah, lockdown is still April 30th. Although Michigan, did something very stupid, so we're probably going to be grounded for another month.
I have a feeling it's gonna be extended here, but our cases have been reducing and our recoveries have been double the new cases daily now.
That's great.
For a couple of days, yeah.
That's wonderful.
It's great. I'm just worried that just means some people who have it are not being tested.
I see.
There was did you hear some South American country was counting their dead as recovered because they were no longer contagious?
Apparently that's a hoax, I believe. Like a rumor. Like not real.
Oh, thank God.
I think.
Because, oh my gosh.
I think it's like some fake news thing that got picked up by a lot of major outlets without them
That
checking
happens
the
more
sources.
often. Yes, that happens
I
way
believed
too
it.
often. Oh, it's frustrating.
I think it was Chile. I believe that the country was
Okay.
Chile.
Gotcha.
So yeah, actually the response has been pretty good here. They are actually going to high risk areas, especially high risk residential buildings like apartments and testing people at their homes.
Oh, wow.
Cool.
So if it's a high risk area, they will go to your home to test you.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, response here
Yeah.
has been pretty good.
That's good. I wish I could say the same for Michigan.
Australia
Instead,
has been fining people insane amounts of money, like
They're-
1,600 Aussie dollars, which is 1,200 US dollars, I think. 1,000
See-
US dollars, something like that.
They actually, in Michigan, I don't really know. It's a little confusing, I will admit. Apparently in Michigan, they were supposed to be fining people like $1,000, but I'm not actually sure if that's being actually used or not. Just like there's a lot of mixed stories about whether like police officers are actually pushing people to be home or punishing them if they're not. There's a lot of weirdness with that. But yeah, it's been interesting, especially since I am living in the second hotspot in Michigan and living next to the number one hotspot. So,
Mm.
so it's been interesting. But we're all safe here, so that's the good
Yeah,
news.
and I guess we're quite lucky that we can work from home too.
Yes, I'm pretty lucky that they have furloughed people on my end. I don't think I'm at risk of being furloughed at this point, but they don't really know what's going to happen. I guess there was supposed to be some federal stimulus package that we thought we would be able to get, and then we didn't. So we're just waiting on that. So that's great. Yay, nonprofits in the United States. So,
Yeah,
fun time.
but I'm guessing wait, you only work with kids. You don't work with
Yeah,
Oh, right.
kids and families, yeah.
Mm. Because my company is paying for online therapy for the employees
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
if
cool.
they need it. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I'm actually really lucky.
Yeah.
Luckily, I
Yeah,
don't need it as of now, but it's good the
Mhm,
options
for
there.
sure. No, for sure. That is really important. That's what was so strange with my workplace, but that I'm finding more and more it's because of the county I work in, not the state. I guess our state of Michigan has been very open on trying to do more online therapy or like telehealth as we've been calling it. But I guess our county has been very slow.
Are you allowed to do it?
on that.
Like, I mean,
We
you
are-
usually work with kids, but are you like allowed to just make the shift?
So it's kind of weird because we'd never done it before as a company. I've never done it personally either, but we'd never done it as a company. And so that's what was kind of difficult. And that's actually why I think when we last talked, I was like, yeah, I don't know what we're doing. It's because they were waiting. They wanted to move basically to telehealth, but they were waiting for the county to be willing to reimburse us for it because I guess the county was like, no, you should just still be coming in. Otherwise, we won't pay you for the service. And we're like, so the county... I
That
can't
kind
wait
of goes
till I
against
don't.
the lockdown that they're.
I mean, you'd think, and it's terrible because this is Detroit we're talking too, so it's like you do understand that, you know, even if we're open, no one's logically going to want to come in, except for maybe a couple people that you're like, why would you want to come in? So it really, but Wayne County's mental health system, in my opinion, is a little messed up. So, like a lot of things in Wayne County. So, it is what it is. But we are doing it. I think we're just not. I think reimbursement is being like a constant battle. Because we're a pay for fee service. So that means basically our company does not get paid essentially unless we see the clients for service. So, which, you know, if you get no show clients, you don't get money. So it's a great system.
What you guys been doing?
I'll rant about what I've been doing. Someone else should go first, though.
What have I been doing? Nothing super interesting. I mean, I've been relaxing. I've been kind of liking it. I got some new miniatures, so I painted up a couple. They're not painted, but I base coated these guys. They're called Castellan robots. They're these old school like Martian robots, which I kind of like.
They're so cool.
So are they Warhammer or no?
They're. I failed my will save, and I've actually purchased 40k miniatures now. So.
Yeah, I understand.
But they're so cool.
Yeah, they're really cool.
So yeah, I'm gonna do more of that. I think I have all the paints I care about. I still work on my goblin army, so that'll be the focus after I finish the robots. I haven't been playing a lot of Monster Hunter. I've been getting back into WoW actually. The thought process is really funny, is because I was playing Warhammer 40k, a video game called Battlefleet Gothic, which is kind of like their space RTS. And I was like, man, I wish I was just playing Eve. This looks like Eve, but it's not as good.
I've been getting Eve advertising for some reason.
Okay, I haven't been getting the advertising, but I talked to people at work. So I want to play Eve. I'm like, I'll just play WoW because WoW's a better MMO. But people at work are like, hey, we'd play Eve. I'm like, okay. So I might play Eve by the next time we talk. We'll have to see.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I've just been watching. Actually, not a lot. I caught up on everything I was watching. I did watch the pilot for an interesting show I'm going to watch more of called Happy. I can't remember the main actor's name, but he plays the chef in Wet Hot American Summer. And he's like he used to be like a super cop, and now he's like all like washed up and drug addicted and stuff. We don't know why yet, but this little girl gets kidnapped, and her imaginary friend comes to get him to save her. So he can see the imaginary friend, who's voiced by Patton Oswalt. And so he's just kind of going around. I mean, in one episode, there's not a lot that happened yet, but like.
Wait, is this an animated show?
No, it's live action. The animated friend is CGI. It's a sci-fi original. It's on Netflix.
Interesting.
It's interesting, and I really like him as an actor. We'll see if it gets like really good. Like, it was okay. It wasn't as weird as I thought it would be, so that was good. I thought it might be kind of dumb. I saw Parasite for the first time.
Did you?
It was pretty good.
Nice.
I kind of wish I hadn't heard anything about it, because I was like, this is the best movie ever. I'm going to watch it. And it's like, it's good. Like, it wasn't as good as I thought it'd be, but it was a very good movie. But I kind of wish I hadn't, gone in with any expectations.
I feel like I should see it now that it's so.
Yeah, I should probably watch it.
I just haven't had a chance to yet. Is it more horror or is it more comedy? Like,
It's
I've been hearing.
not at all horror, actually.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I thought it would be horror, but I wouldn't say it's horror. I wouldn't say it's comedy either.
Okay, gotcha.
It's just more like a drama.
Drama. Okay.
I guess.
About class divide and stuff, right?
Basically about class divide, if I had to name one thing.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think that's it. Like, it's been. I remember. I think I just in the last month I just played Monster Hunter and switched to WoW, so it's been really boring. If I hadn't switched to WoW, I probably would have been recording, so that's kind of unfortunate.
So it goes.
That's how it goes. Yeah. What about you, Shar?
Persona 5 Royal. That's what I've been playing. I keep wanting to say Persona 5 Royale for some reason. I just but it's Royal. It's spelled without the E.
Yeah, I feel like I think in my head it's Royale too. I think.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep wanting to say Persona 5 Royale. I really have no idea. I feel like the word Royal at the end maybe just doesn't fit. maybe.
I feel like the word royal makes it
doesn't.
sound like not very final.
It doesn't.
You know.
I think it doesn't roll off the tongue so easily.
Yeah. Also, royal is an adjective, so to end a phrase with this adjective is weird, but royale is usually a noun, so that's probably why.
Probably
Anyway.
why. I'm gonna call it Royale. Fuck you.
Yeah, that's
I don't
fine.
care.
It makes more sense to me.
Persona 5 Royale. It's okay. So I think it's great that it came out like 2 years after. So I know what happens and stuff, but I can't remember all the finer details, right? So I'm not bored of it too much. So that's good. But I feel like the extra content or the extra characters, the writing is not very good. I don't know why. I just have maybe it's just overall not very good writing. Maybe I'm just thinking back now, and maybe it's always been not so good writing. But I feel like at least the two new characters, the two new confidant, the Kasumi and the doctor, whatever, I can't remember his name, Maruki. I feel like the dialogue with those characters, when you play like when you spend time with them and the story goes on with their specific plots, like it's not very good writing. Like I don't know.
I recall
Feels
again.
forced.
I recall, and again, I basically watched Persona 4. I kind of like played it with my brother, essentially. I remember their Golden. That was the Royale version, essentially. The extra character, Elizabeth, she was a bit of a shoehorn in, too. I remember the main joke we made is her design is what we called, like, over-designed. Like, she just it looked like they had 3 different character concepts they tried to put into one person. It was very strange.
And I think that's probably, like, because I played Persona 5 and then played, Royale, and I can kind of feel it. I didn't play Persona 4. I played Golden straight. And to me, that game was just perfect. I didn't have anything to produce. It's still my favorite Persona game.
It's very popular.
It's
for that
very
reason.
good. They should really remaster it for whatever PS4, Switch, or whatever. So good.
Yeah.
Just re-release it. Let more people play. Because right now it's just a Vita exclusive. You cannot play it anywhere else.
It is a Vita exclusive. That's the only way we were able to play it, and that was interesting. But yeah. Well, cool. So, yeah. Did you do anything else, Shar?
I don't think. I've been watching more Star Trek Deep Space Nine. I think I'm on season 6 now.
Nice.
It's just really good.
We both finished Picard since the last episode.
Oh yeah, did we not talk about it?
And you didn't really like. Well,
I
think
we chatted about it online.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I hate.
And you hated it.
Hate is a bit
I
strong.
never saw it.
The first episode is still the best, and then there was one episode in the middle that was really good too. I can't remember which one. I can't remember.
I like the episode where 7 of 9 does the thing.
In the last episode?
No, it's near the end. It's like a.
Okay, okay, all right, okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
I don't want to spoil it.
So I don't know. It just feels the writing is really bad. Jesus fuck.
I have a hard time understanding like how the world works sometimes. Like normally I don't have this problem as much with Star Trek as Star Wars. Like for example in Rogue One I had a problem of it doesn't give me a good sense of how big the universe is because people just kind of show up at planet to planet like within minutes, and I thought it would take like hours. And then similarly in this one with like fleets just kind of show up and go away. It's like I know they didn't take minutes, but just like things just seemed a little more trivial than they were supposed to. Like I don't know, big momentous things were kind of downplayed in anticlimactic ways.
And at the end, there was one thing that really pissed me off. So right at the end, when they were like in the ship going, and then Picard made a popular phrase. two characters were holding hands.
Yes.
And they never showed anything before that. Nothing. Zero. They had almost no dialogue together, and then at the end of the season they're holding. What the fuck?
No
And
chemistry.
what's worse is they're gay. So
I
it's
was about to
obvious,
ask if it was gay. I was like,
and
was it a
that
gay
makes
relationship?
it so much worse.
I knew it. I knew
The
it.
writers
points.
basically just went, "Oh, let's be inclusive, and make the gay couple." Like, you have to build on the relationship, and that's one of the most annoying things about that show.
On the one
I
hand,
hate all
I'm
the
glad
characters.
I didn't have to watch them continuously fail to build a good relationship throughout the course of the show. It's just one moment of pain.
Maybe,
But yeah,
I
you're
don't know.
right.
It's
I did
just,
not like most. I liked Picard a lot.
and the
That's kind of
relationships
it.
between the characters felt very artificial. Like that, like I don't know, like the main android gal and Picard and the samurai
Double
warrior
binding.
guy. The like all of them together. I know they were supposed to give out the feeling of a ragtag, like everybody's different, coming together for a common goal kind of thing. But I don't know. It feels like a much worse Firefly. Does that make sense? Like I don't know. It's just like
Yeah. The characters are super generic.
I
and
hated all of them.
They weren't strong enough for me to hate them.
The only one I
They're
kind of
just-
liked was the android scientist lady.
She was my least favorite. That's interesting.
Really. I just thought because she was kind of funny and then she did some
I liked-
stupid ass shit, and then everybody just forgave her, and I'm like,
I liked her from Scott Pilgrim.
I am hearing that Shar had very strong feelings of hatred, and Foe had very strong feelings of apathy.
I mean, I was very entertained by the show. I would not use the word compelling to describe it.
Gotcha. Hey.
There's a lot of really cool things that happen, but just like, I don't know. Yeah. I'd recommend it. I liked it a lot. It's better than Discovery, I think.
Just binge it. Don't worry about it too much, and then go and watch like another Star Trek thing. I recommend Deep Space Nine. That's my favorite.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
would
I just
not
really
put
like
it
Deep
better
Space
than
Nine.
DS9 or Next Gen or TOS.
Is it better than Discovery? I haven't watched
never
Discovery,
given-
but
I don't know. Oh, sorry, Discovery. Sorry, I was thinking Enterprise. I liked it more than Discovery.
Is it because it's in the mainline universe and Discovery is sort of like veered off?
No, I think the things that just happen in Discovery aren't as cool, and weirdly, like, I guess Picard was kind of easier to follow. Not that like Discovery's like some weird complex thing, but Discovery kind of banks on like this mystery, like oh, I don't like how's this happening? What's working? Like oh, weird stuff. But like in Picard, you know exactly what's happening. Like okay, like she's a robot. We're gonna go here to find blah. They're gonna meet. Like it's not trying to, I don't know, be more than it is. I don't know how to describe it. I should watch more Discovery. I never finished the first season, so I can't
Also,
maybe judge
the
it
two villains,
as well.
the siblings. Number one, why do they always portray brothers and sisters so sexually? What the fuck? Why?
Dude, I
Why
could
is that
write
a thing?
thesis on that.
Why
on
is that a thing?
exact
That's
issue.
number one. Number two,
It's only the baddies, right?
yeah. Number two, the guy. Why is he supposed to be like some hottie, but he's like ugly as fuck? Like why?
I mean, he
Come
looks
on.
kind of he looks like a younger Hugo Weaving. Hugo Weaving's not bad looking. I wouldn't consider him as a hottie.
I'm gonna say Hugo Weaving's roles kind of make him more attractive than he would be otherwise.
Fair
Maybe?
enough.
Would you say that?
Possible.
I mean, he played an elf for fuck's sakes. Come on. I mean, to be
this
fair,
guy
the
is
bad guy is
basically a
like
space
elf. Yeah, I know. But it's his character. I hate his character. Okay,
Yeah,
in the beginning I said
that.
hate was a strong word. I'm gonna use it though. I think it's more appropriate about how I feel. I just hate his character so much. I don't know. It's just. You remember the scene? I think it was the second last episode where Picard went up against the entire fleet on his own,
Yeah, that was.
and they used that. Okay, that thingamajig too. Like, use your imagination. What the fuck? Okay, but it was that scene where it was they duplicated the things. I thought it was funny. That was a good scene.
Yeah.
But I have to nitpick good scenes. That's the thing. I have to like really like go in and like pick out like a 5-minute scene out of like an hour show, kind of like just feels.
Sure.
I don't know. It just annoys me because I see a lot of discourse online and on like YouTubers channels loving the show. I mean, obviously you can love the show, but them saying the characters are really good and writing like, and them liking the whole gay couple thing. Like, come on, man.
Oh,
have higher standards.
I think if you're a big next gen fan,
probably
you'll definitely like this a lot, because I think this is a really good job of continuing pre-existing characters. I just think almost all of the new characters are pretty flat.
I think this is more of a show for TNG fans, I think.
Absolutely.
Which I guess is all Star Trek fans? I don't know.
I think TNG is the number one. I don't think it's super contentious. I guess, I mean, no, I take that back. TOS and DS9 are up there. Lightly contentiously.
But yeah, I was very disappointed with it because the first episode, it was really good. It was very compelling and wanted me to know more about what's happening, and then they just kept going downhill.
Yeah, fair enough.
The pilot was amazing. I would say the first episode is still the best. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I've watched anything else. I've just been playing Persona 5 Royale, and on the weekends I'm playing No Man's Sky because they have a multiplayer component, and but I can play single player, so because sometimes it crashes the fucking thing because it's still not a perfect game. But there's a currency in the game that is very rare, and you have to do like specific events to like missions. And weekend, there's like a weekend mission like you can do one time to get 1,200 units of the currency.
I see. So
I do that. Yeah. No Man's Sky is pretty good. They recently updated it with Max. So like.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Max is always cool.
No Man's Sky is definitely a game that's not very deep, but there's a lot of things to do. Like they keep adding things like adding breadth to it, but not layers.
I see.
So like, we're gonna add fucking Max. Okay.
I like Warframe is similar, I feel like.
So it's, I think Warframe, at least the last time I played it, just felt like the grind will always be there. They will just add new grinds and a new frame to grind for. That's basically it, felt like. But I stopped playing before they started with the whole open world new planet stuff. So I'm not really sure. But yeah, No Man's Sky, Persona 5 is pretty much. I wanna look into getting maybe a couple of Switch games, but prices are going up over here. Jesus fuck. Yeah, it's not. Yeah. And I'm not really sure consoles because I'm not really in the market for the console. I already have one. But the Switch games, like Animal Crossing, just went up in price, and like used the second-hand market are now selling it at full price.
Oh.
So like, what the fuck? So digital might be a better option for me right now, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't want digital. I want to.
Speaking of Animal Crossing, so I very much failed my will save. And I ended up buying Animal Crossing, which is so weird because I have never played an Animal Crossing game in my entire life. So this was very new to me. And yeah, that has been my main focus. I wouldn't say I'm like so obsessed with it as some people are. It's almost become a community thing for me.
You're playing it every day.
I play little bits every day. I have groups of people that we exchange island stuff and stuff like that. I'm trying to get up to like the main game storyline, not storyline, but like the main game quest, you would say. That kind of thing. I've actually streamed through my other podcast that I do a couple times when I like refurnish my rooms and stuff like that. So I am playing it, but I will confess to you that the only reason I am playing this game is because of the quarantine. That is not to say it's a bad game. It's just that it is definitely a product of the quarantine for me because it's people interaction, very simple. And just constantly growing things, you know, and so it just kind of feel good. I will.
So you wouldn't play as much, would you say?
I probably wouldn't if it weren't for the quarantine, just because it's not that it's a bad game. For an Animal Crossing game, from what I've heard, it's very, very good. There's lots of things to do, lots of things to find, lots of things to get, lots of customization, lots of stuff. So, you know, on that end, it's great. It's just that I am running into the issue that I knew I would run into with games like this, where after a while, I get a little bored setting up my house and nothing really happening.
Well, because the main problem with Animal Crossing compared to like Stardew Valley is I feel like Animal Crossing doesn't have you like build like machines. Like in Stardew Valley, like you're planting a farm, like you're building a thing that will function and do something and give you money faster. Animal Crossing, beyond like planting more trees or like cultivating specific flowers, there's not a lot of like architecting and designing and building you get to do, which I find a little.
Yeah, there really isn't. If you're like a huge Stardew Valley fan, Animal Crossing is gonna feel very like kind of a waste for you. It works for me because then I don't need to constantly worry about the production because I really didn't want to worry about that.
That's true.
But but I do understand that. But I am running into an issue where I am kind of like, I can only play house for so long. Like here's kind of a weird example of what I mean. There's tons of different items that you can buy, and sometimes you can get items that are like a cat tower or a water bowl or dish for like a pet, that kind of thing. But you can't get a pet in this game. So it's very much a dollhouse without being able to play with your dolls. And which I know is a really weird metaphor, but you have to understand that even though I never played The Sims, I probably should have because I love playing house. I don't want to admit how obsessed I got with the Hearthfire DLC and Skyrim. The answer is way too obsessed. I like playing house. And so it's kind of funny because my fiance will look over my shoulder to see what I'm doing, and I'll be like, look, here's my kitchen. I've got a pizza oven. I've got this stove that you can actually turn on and turn off. I got a microwave. I got a toaster oven, blah, blah. And so my fiance's like, oh, well, can you eat any of it? And I'm like, no, all you can eat is fruit in this game. You can't do anything else.
You can't cook.
You can't cook, you know, you can't serve it to people. Nothing like that, you know. The coolest thing that you can interact with that I've been the most obsessed with is there's different types of music players in this game, and you can get soundtracks. And so I've just been collecting soundtrack music to put in my DJ box.
Like from other Nintendo games, like Zelda soundtracks.
No, they're just they're just music for because there's like a in-game character named KK. I guess he's like a musician that's been in all the games. He's some dog that's a musician. I never played Animal Crossing, so I don't know the reference. But it's like his band and his music. So it's all different types of music. And so I just buy them all and just have them play in my house. I'm trying to crossbreed the flowers. I will say, I think, and this kind of leads into the Stardew Valley Harvest Moon thing, one thing I think that's hard for me, because I'm new at this game, is... So in Stardew Valley and Harvest Moon, as you described, Foe, the whole game starts off with basically it's a clicker thing. You know, you do the work to get more money so that you can get more stuff for more money, right? And so the progression of cost is supposed to go up with the idea that you will be gaining more money faster, essentially. So in the beginning, it might take you a day to get 100 gold, while later down the line, it'll take you a day to make 1,000 gold, right? To buy the higher expensive stuff. At least how maybe I just suck at this game, but for me in Animal Crossing, it doesn't have something like that. You make money every day doing similar stuff, and yes, essentially you will accumulate more money, but you don't necessarily, at least for me, accumulate it much faster unless you play the turnip stock market, and that's about it. But otherwise for me, every day I'm grinding in the same ways to get money, which is fine because costs of most things stay the same, like clothes and items and stuff like that. But like the upgrades to your house or any other upgrades to the island and stuff like that take a really long time. So, it's fine. I'm enjoying it.
Terraforming?
I haven't that's another thing that I don't really understand. I guess I haven't gotten to the point where I get to terraform because I don't
have to have like a 3-star island rating.
That must be why.
Which I don't either.
I'm only at 2 stars because I
think I'm still at 1.
Yeah.
Oh, you have the new Animal Crossing 2.4?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But Lady Hamner plays it way more than me. She's farther.
If she's really interested in playing the stock market, I can hook her up with some Discord chats. I literally have 2 Discord chats. They're like once for my podcast RNG&T, we made a separate Animal Crossing part, and then there's another group that I got joined into that are like partners with us that also have like a huge Animal Crossing following. So I have followers for Turn Up Stock Market for days. So if she needs any help, I can hook her up. And everyone's been really nice, which is great because everyone makes bells faster than I do because I apparently suck. I've had friends that like pity me and just give me 99 grand bells. I'm like, where did this come from? How did you get this? They just feel bad for me. But it's fine, I just take it my own pace. I try not to focus on anyone else. But yeah, I haven't gotten the construction kit, so I can't do the terraforming yet. Although I have to rant about one more thing. So this just shows you that I just don't play in the spirit of Animal Crossing. So, Fo, the weeds that you're supposed to pick up? So when I first played the game, and also there's trees and flowers everywhere, and what you're supposed to do is like start chopping down trees, picking up the weeds, replanting flowers, all this stuff. But of course, when I saw it, I was like, well, this is a beautiful island. I want to preserve most of its stuff. I don't, I'll like chop down trees near my area for my buildings and, however many people want to live here. Oh my gosh, why do 8 people want to live here all of a sudden? But like this section of the island, I'd like to keep as it is. I liked the weeds. It gave texture to the land with the flowers. I thought it looked really nice and rustic and stuff. And then I popped a balloon over one of the thicker weeds, and it disappears. And I went, no more weeds, and I started picking up all the weeds, and then I cried. So yeah, it's a game that gives you a lot of feelings. It's weird. I am starting to get a little out of the Skinner box, as they say in video games, where I am starting to get to the point where I'm like, okay, what's kind of the point now? But I'm as long as I have new ideas of like, okay, I want to do this like as another room in my house, I'll be, I guess, working through. And I think if it weren't for the fact that I have friends that like are visiting my island and I visit their island, I probably wouldn't be playing this as long as I have. So I don't know. I have a feeling I'm going to be playing this for a little bit and might be moving on to the next thing pretty shortly. So that's Animal Crossing. The only other thing to really report is I didn't really play much of it, but I did see a lot of the FF7 remake. It is way too pretty of a game, and honestly way too good of gameplay than it deserves, which I didn't think I would say that. Obviously, you don't need to get it if you don't want it, but like, it's actually a really good game. And I'm kind of not happy about that. Like, I have no reason I never played FF7, but it's weird. Like, it's beautiful. Like, this is the first game I've seen where the graphics of the cutscenes are as good as the graphics of the gameplay are as good as the cutscenes because they seamlessly go together. There's no like loading time for cutscenes. You will walk into a room and then it leads into a cutscene. That's how good the graphics are.
I hear the combat is also like at least better than Final Fantasy 15, which I fucking hated. I haven't actually physically played the combat, but based on what I've seen, it's real time. It's pretty fluid. It's fun. Every character plays a little differently, and so it's pretty fun. And nobody's really useless. Like even Aerith can hold her own pretty well because she's pretty much a black mage and can dodge really well and stuff like that. Tifa is super fun. And the characters are just really alive, and even the interaction and the dialogue is like it's funny and it's good. I just don't know how to feel about supporting
I get you.
Episodic releases. Like,
I get you. I'm not here to say like you better buy this today.
I want to play it though. But the thing is, like,
know.
how much freedom do you get? Because Final Fantasy is all about side quests. I mean, not all about, but there's a lot of that. You can do side quests, a lot of grinding, and then
So it's by chapter, and essentially what happens usually is in a chapter you have an area to play with. So like one of the sectors essentially, or a different area to play with. And there are usually a bunch of side quests within that area, and then you kind of move along with the main quest and go from there. There are a lot of mini games. My only time I played the game was I was helping my fiance with a really, really hard mini game that was kind of a rhythm game, and I managed to beat it. I was very proud of myself because it was really stinking hard, and I had no practice prior to it. Otherwise, yeah, it's free. I don't know how much there are times you can go backwards on the map. They do a decent job of being like, no, you can't go backwards because this person's waiting for you to follow them to this section. They do a pretty decent job of why they have the roadblocks they do. But yeah, it's like section by section, I would say. And some areas are more open than others. So, yeah, and like I said, like, I think the part that really blew me away, besides the whole graphic thing of like, oh my gosh, they just seamlessly go from gameplay to cutscene, that's crazy, is the dialogue and the character interaction. Cloud, they've really, I think at least, and this could just be my opinion, maybe other people would think differently if they played the game, I feel like they've struck a decent balance with Cloud, with the whole, like, he's kind of angsty and doesn't want to get close to people, but he also actually really does like people and just kind is a big soft and doesn't want to admit it. Like, because the characters call him out all the time, and so that kind of helps. And he's not like the constant butt of the joke every time, but like he has like more of a biting sarcasm to things, but you also know he really does care, and he does show it pretty well. It's just through that kind of cold exterior. And that, I don't know, like I feel they actually struck a decent balance with all of that with everybody. And everybody gets along. Like, there are reasons. It was really nice to just see lots of scenes dedicated to Tifa and Aerith just being friends with each other, and stuff like that. So I don't know. I was really stinking impressed. If you're curious about it and you have the money for it, I would say get it. I don't think you're gonna regret it. But yeah, so, and Cloud does wear a dress, I can confirm. It's a very nice dress. Actually, there are 3 dress options.
How long was it?
How what?
How long was it?
How long was the game?
Yeah. 30 hours?
That sounds right. My
fiance, guess was that.
I'm trying, actually, I'd have to look at my fiance's playtime. Because my fiance played it like religiously. When I say religiously, I mean like 10 hours a day, Saturday and Sunday, and then I think she finally finished it on Wednesday. So like 5 days of like solid gameplay, and she finishes. Yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah, it's I will admit maybe 30 hours isn't right. I couldn't really tell you. It was longer than I expected. It was. Because my fiance, like, when I say 5 day, like, when I say, like, starting on Saturday, I want to say, and then taking until Wednesday, that's long for my fiance. She beat Outer Worlds in, I think, 2 days. So, it's
yeah, that game was about 30 hours.
Yeah. And, I mean, this game has a lot more side quests and a lot more mini games, and that took a while and stuff like that, but... and that wasn't also because there were some bosses that were impossible. There are bad bosses that are like really stinking hard, but there wasn't really a part that made you rage quit, at least not for her. Except for that mini game, so I beat it. I was surprised. The only reason I'm not sure if I want to play is because I've already seen most of it, so I don't know if I really want to do it, but I kind of want to because the combat system looks pretty fun. Yeah, I was shocked. What's also a really cool little detail, and please remember, I really don't know much about Final Fantasy VII, so I'm kind of learning all this as I go. So you get materia to put on your weapons, right? And your armor and stuff like that. And each weapon especially has, like, different numbers of materia slots. So what's kind of cool is the weapons that you equip on the characters, you see them in all the cutscenes.
Ooh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and you see, even cooler, the materia, too.
Oh, I think, if I'm not wrong, it's they don't actually have separate graphics, I believe.
I don't think they do, because the only time you see a loading screen...
in-game.
Yeah.
Everything's in-game.
I believe so.
That's what I mean, like, it's just seamless.
I could be wrong, but...
Like, you know how, in Final Fantasy VIII, they kind of tried the seamless cutscenes, and it was a little bit wonky.
Yeah.
So, but like,
it's a
imagine
PlayStation 1
that.
game.
Yeah, but imagine that, but like, the graphics don't change. That's what it was like. It was crazy. And so, yeah, like, for instance, Cloud's Buster Sword has 2 materia slots, right? And it's empty at the beginning of the game. The minute you put something in it, you see them. The colors, what's in there, and you see it always there unless it's changed. So even in cutscenes, and even like on everyone else's weapons too. So like Tifa's gloves. She has different gloves, right? Different materia slots, and so you see all of those. The only time it's really funny is Barrett. Most of his is guns, obviously, but he has one that's a wrecking ball. And so there was one scene where he threatens to, like, shoot somebody, but it was the wrecking ball one, and so that one didn't make a lot of sense. And they did have to change it, because there's a scene where he is supposed to shoot down some glass, and the weapon suddenly changed. That was the only time they did that. every time they kept with what you had. Pretty funny.
Monster Hunter had a funny thing like that where your companion is supposed to pull her goggles down and look in the distance, but I had her in a costume with no goggles. She just does the hand motions like, I can see better. It's like, no, okay, sure.
That's funny. So yeah, if you're at all curious and you got the cash to burn and the time to spend, it's, from what I've seen and heard, it's a really good game. I was surprised. And I didn't think they'd do it. I really didn't believe in it. Wow. I'll be curious to see if they managed to get through the other discs, because I feel like, how did you not burn out from that game alone? That's okay.
Shit. God damn. Now I feel like I need to get it. Fuck.
Yeah.
Because of Final Fantasy game.
I know.
Those are games I play.
I know.
Even 15, which I didn't finish. I hated it so much. I bought it again. It's Final Fantasy. I need to finish it.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
News time?
News time.
Let's start off with something. A lot of news is not very mainstream. It's just kind of. Yeah. Okay. So do you guys know about an old Cartoon Network MMO? Apparently, there was an old Cartoon Network MMO.
That sounds familiar. MMO.
And it's like it's been defunct. It's been closed down for a while now.
What was it called?
I think it's just Cartoon Network MMO. I'm not really sure.
Okay.
But basically fans were remaking it in it's been in the works for like 6 years. Fusion Fall Retro is what it's called. And
I don't know this.
And they actually got blessings from Cartoon Network itself to go ahead with the project. Cartoon Network just sent a takedown DMCA. And the reason is because, and it's not because of Cartoon Network, and it's not because of developers. They were both totally cool with it. The reason is because one community member was annoyed with the developers, because he was telling the developers, can you put in a crafting system? And the developer said no. So what he did was he sent false allegations to Cartoon Network, saying the developers are just full of pedophiles and shit like that. And Cartoon Network just sent a DMCA takedown. Apparently, Cartoon Network has taken note of these false allegations and are now investigating it. So hopefully they will just reverse the takedown. I'm not really sure, but for now it's officially closed off. So because of one gamer, 6 to 7 years of work just went down the drain.
Yeah. Oh, that's so stupid.
Yeah.
Gamers, what will they think of next?
Yeah. Um, okay, that's it's a weird one. That one.
How do we follow
Okay.
up with that one?
Oh. Um,
Oh no.
the next one is Cooking Mama. I know it's fucking weird. Okay, so
What's going on with
so
Cooking Mama?
there's a new Cooking Mama game that came out at the end of March. It's called Cooking Mama Cookstar.
Okay.
So apparently it wasn't supposed to come out,
What?
but copies went out. So I think the digital copy went down a couple of days after, if I'm not mistaken. But physical copies is still being sold here. I still see ads for it, like physical copies of the game, at normal price too.
Oh.
So the game is really bad, like a lot of really bad reviews for it. But the reason why it wasn't supposed to come out was because there was a dispute between the developer and the rights holders. So the rights holders a couple of years ago went to these developers. Basically, they licensed out the Cooking Mama IP to Planet Entertainment LLC in the US, and the rights holders for Cooking Mama is Office Create Corporation in Japan. So there are two sides of this now. From one side is the developer side, the other side is the publisher side, basically, right? The developers were like saying like they are not breaking any contract rules to release. They have all the rights to release it and sell it. And the reason why the publishers got pissed off is because they had creative differences, and then Office Create said they decided to pull sales is because they didn't authorize the release of the game, and the reason why they didn't authorize it is because it didn't reach the quality that they wanted it to. I mean, judging from all the really bad reviews, I think
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Case maybe.
So it's just really fucking weird, man. Cooking Mama was the biggest, not biggest, but like a really weird controversy for the past couple of weeks.
What a weird scandal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cooking Mama, for fuck's sake.
Cooking Mama scandal.
This. I was really scraping. I needed to scrape.
Coronavirus, man, it's making us all go crazy.
There's not much going on. A lot of events are canceled and stuff, right?
Yeah. So I think San Diego Comic-Con got canceled.
They should really cancel it. Like, even here, they made it illegal to congregate for religious things, mosques, churches, whatever it was.
Yeah, I don't even know.
I remember reading that you guys. I mean, there's a bishop in the U.S. He was saying, God is stronger than COVID, and then he died of COVID. Which I thought was really funny. So yeah.
There's a lot of irony. I think what's happening is they are told that they are non-essential, so they do need to stay at home. I'm just not sure how
they are non-essential.
Yeah, I just don't know how well it's being structured. Like how it's being enforced.
They're probably not happy taking it that they're not essential.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. Yeah. Yep.
There was like a hobby shop employee recently who declared his business as essential, and of course, he got shut down pretty hard.
How did he declare it? He just stood outside the shop and I'm essential.
I don't know. He had like a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament or something.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. All right, dude. Yeah, I mean, we talked about GameStop last time. They've now since been nope. But that was interesting. Hobby Lobby tried to do that too.
I can see this being done by like a Michael type manager from The Office.
Mm-hmm.
Like just standing outside the store shouting, "We're essential."
Yeah.
It's basically what they tried to do. It's basically what they tried to do. GameStop. They just It's just run by a bunch of Michaels.
Exactly. It's just.
Okay, that's really scary actually to have a company run by.
Yeah, that would
what's supposed to be a satirical take. Anyways,
Too bad we live in a satirical world now.
Crysis is getting remastered apparently.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
What's the
Is
name? I'm sorry.
Crysis, the first Crysis. Crysis? The game that melts PCs. Even to this day, PCs are melting trying to run.
Yeah, some PCs weren't melting, so it had to remaster.
Oh my gosh.
So, do you really not know what Crysis is?
I guess I don't.
It's
Wait a second.
What does the narrator say? Maximum something?
Actually,
Maximum arm or something. But okay, basically it's a first person shooter game, semi open ish. So it's not. The first Crysis game is the best in my opinion, and the first half of Crysis 1 was the best part of it because that was the semi open world kind of thing. You are on an island and then you can just explore, blah blah blah. Once you reach like the second half, it became a linear game where you shoot aliens, and that fucking sucked. I was like, why?
It's coming back to me a little bit. I just looked it up.
It was a technological marvel for the time. It used like the Cry engine. It not just had all the graphics and shit, which melted PCs basically, but it was like really cool, like the physics and stuff. So I remember there was one time I threw a grenade at this convoy. So this guy's in a truck. I threw a grenade. The grenade exploded. It made a tree fall down onto the truck, and then the truck exploded from the tree falling down. So that's like, I was like, oh, that's fucking cool, man. So so that's all these tech in the game, in the engine that was like, it was just being really, I think they did a really good job of showing it off, and then it became a linear game second half. So basically they're remastering it for PS4, Xbox, Switch, PC.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's kind of, I remember this game coming out. I actually kind of remember more that it had its own engine that was named after itself. I don't know why I remember that more than
the Crytek people also made Far Cry 1, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why the Cry is in there. And then Ubisoft bought Far Cry IP, I think. I think Far Cry 2 was under Ubisoft, or was it Far Cry 3? I'm not sure if Far Cry 2 was under Ubisoft. Far Cry 3 is definitely under Ubisoft. But yeah, the Cry engine is. But Crytek has been bleeding money for the past 7 years now. They haven't really been, unlike Epic with their Unreal engine.
Yeah.
That's been used in like so many damn games. The Cry engine didn't really take off, I believe. And Crytek has always been more, I think, of a technology company because all their Crysis games have not sold well.
Gotcha.
Well. So yeah. I think it came out in 2006 or 7, was it? I can't remember exactly. Yeah.
2007. That's
2007. That was like. That's like 15. That's not 15. Like 17-year-old. That was 17-year-old me was like, holy shit, this is so cool. Basically. Yeah. You got to be some super soldier in a crazy suit, and then you can just explore a cool island. But yeah, they went away from that whole semi-open world thing, which really annoyed me. But yeah, that got remastered. That is getting a remaster, and the people who are working with them to remaster it is Saber Interactive. So they're very known in the industry for making good ports. Basically, they're the people who helped port The Witcher 3 to the Switch.
Gotcha.
And they did a bunch of others. Like they're good at ports. That's like their thing.
Yeah, that's their thing. But you know what? It's good to be good at that because there's a lot of when it's bad. It's bad.
Actually, there's a lot of companies who basically just help out with projects. They don't make their own games, and that's how they can survive. They make a lot of money that way. A lot of those studios are in Malaysia. Actually, they help out with big AAA. They're part of the they help out with a specific thing for big AAA games. They basically they do contract work pretty much. So it's not really a bad place to make money. I think making your own game and trying to sell that is a bit more risky.
Yeah.
So that's a thing. One more thing would be Jason Schreier is leaving Kotaku.
Oh.
He is I'm not really sure what the proper name is, but he's like the editor. Like one of the top. I think the head editor, I think. But he's one of two guys that made all those exposés on the game industry. I can't remember the other guy's name, but Jason Schreier is one of the two guys that talked about all the exposés. Yeah, actually, Kotaku's really good with exposés.
That's what they're mainly good at, to be honest with you. Some other other casual.
They're sort of like BuzzFeed. So BuzzFeed has that.
Sometimes they can be BuzzFeedy in a bad way.
I think so. Basically, what BuzzFeed does is their shitty headline, baity stuff makes the money to fund their serious journalism, which is what I think Kotaku also kind of like.
I could see that, because Kotaku has some incredible expose articles. I mean,
there's also a female journalist with Kotaku who I think she was the one that did the article on the farting in the face at Riot.
Yes, she was the one.
I can't remember her name. Piece. Cecilia something, I believe.
Yeah. It was pretty incredible.
So Jason Schreier is leaving. He's still going to be in games journalism. So he's leaving because of the whole, Kotaku has that problem with their parent company, right? Something Media, G Media. They are like anti-union and stuff, I believe. It's like one of those big media houses that owns like every news, like those kind of big ones.
Yeah.
And so he's leaving as part of like not being happy with that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's gonna move on to bigger, better things.
Yeah, he's gonna do it at another. If you want to know more, you gotta follow his Twitter. There's an article on Kotaku, but Twitter is where he's like giving all the information.
Yeah.
So hopefully he continues with the exposés. Those are the really good ones that I read.
They're great. It's incredibly detailed.
Yep. Last one, I guess, that I can find that's kind of interesting. Stadia Pro is going free to play for 2 months. The Pro version. Yeah.
I haven't seen it picked up in my house since the beginning, so.
Correct me if I know you have it, Sarah, but correct me if I'm wrong. You don't need the controller to play it, right? You can use another like Xbox or like PS4 or something, and just a PC.
I've just never seen it with the other controllers, so I couldn't tell you how it works.
So I'm not sure if the controller is a required accessory or it's just something that makes it easier to connect to the Chrome. No, what's that thing you plug into the TV?
The Chromecast?
The Chromecast, yeah. That's what you get when you buy the Pro Deluxe Edition.
You essentially get a Chromecast, yeah. And I feel like you get something else with it, like a box or something. But to be honest with you, I haven't seen it take it out in a hot minute, so I couldn't tell you. I'm
not really sure what you're gonna play though. They don't really have that many. You have Destiny 2 and I don't know what else. They have no exclusives, which is thank God. I think they have one exclusive maybe.
I think they may have had a couple, but they're not like.
From the.
I feel like one was a fighting game.
From what I can see, they have Destiny 2, Ghost Recon, the new Ghost Recon, Red Dead Redemption 2, Mortal Kombat 11 or 12, whatever. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, some racing game, and Borderlands 3. Yeah. So I guess you can sort of play Borderlands 3 for free. I guess for 2 months if you want to. I'm not sure how save games are handled though. So you probably can't move the same games to Epic.
I feel like I'd have to interview the people in my house and ask them some questions. Like, for the good of the people, what games interest you on it? Why have you not played it? And what are you looking forward to? Because I feel like they paid for a subscription and, I forget why. I remember when we took it out, we were like, my fiance was really happy with it, but like, there was nothing, I think, the issue was the games. There was no real other games to play on it that we wouldn't just get easier for our other systems. So what was kind of the point?
Because you pay for a subscription and then you have to buy the games.
Yeah, so...
Unless it's a free-to-play game like Destiny 2. But then you have to buy the expansions if you want to play that.
Yeah. And I think the point also became moot as we figured out how to put computer games onto our big screen a different way without... I mean, it's a messy way,
Steam
but
Link?
it is another way. It's not Steam Link because it wasn't a Steam game. I forget what the process was. It was some kind of HDMI hookup because it wasn't a Steam game. That was the problem. But it was just another way to do it, and it worked. And yeah, I mean, it was funky. I'm not saying it was effective, but like now we have other ways to do it easier rather than go through Stadia. So I don't know. I have to ask my family, my brother and my fiance who both bought it. And I'm like, so whatever happened with that purchase? I'm not even sure if my brother's taking it out of his box. So I feel very pleased
It's
I
Google.
dodged that bullet.
This is what they do. They shove money somewhere.
I know. And if it works,
Half-heartedly, it's just, it's
anyone
Google.
remember Google Glass?
They have way too much money.
I know. Oops, sorry about that. Yeah, it's...
And correct me if I'm wrong, they also work with the U.S. military, I believe, on like AI and shit.
I
think on how to target more efficiently or something.
Dude, most
Kill
high
100
US
people now instead of just 50.
I mean, most high... Unfortunately, I mean, I don't mean to sound like blasé
I think
about
Microsoft
it.
too, I believe.
Probably.
Most of them have weapons contract, right?
I mean, probably. I mean, I don't mean to sound blasé about it, but like U.S. technology is heavily linked with our military. It's like our kind of that. If that were to like break, our economy probably would collapse because our economy is kind of based on technology with war. So.
What was the joke I saw where it's like,
what about
like most people live paycheck to paycheck, landlords live like rent day to rent day, and our country lives war to war.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
I mean,
what were you gonna say, Shar?
Space technology is pretty advanced too, right? Like, can't you focus a little bit more on that? Just a little bit?
We're apparently Trump wants to mine minerals on the moon.
The fight is No Man's Sky. What the fuck?
Yeah, Space Force. That looks
I don't
suspiciously.
even know what rocks are on the moon that are worth anything.
They're probably not. Sorry, guys. They're probably not. I thought that was fake at first, but I guess he signed an order for it, so yay. So now we have a Space Force. And I'm like, okay. Whose symbol looks suspiciously like the Enterprise symbol, but that's okay.
Really?
Have you guys
I think I've seen it, yeah. Yeah, I think I've seen it.
I saw it at some point.
Yeah, I don't watch Star Trek, and I went, that looks familiar. I've seen this before.
I don't really have anything else. You guys have anything?
Not really. Things are just starting to shut down. I did confirm San Diego Comic-Con is canceled. Some cons got pushed back.
I fucking hope so.
Yeah, some cons got pushed back. Like Colossal Con is just getting pushed back, so I don't know if others are gonna follow suit. Yeah. I'm super glad that I'm not the only one that pretty much has only been playing one game throughout this entire shutdown, so that makes me feel a little bit better about myself.
There's just something about the Persona games that just reeled me in, and I don't want to play anything else.
Yeah, I need to. I'm actually going to be. I'll tell you guys how it is. I was asked through my other podcast to review and try out this game I'd never heard of before. It's supposed to be like a Western, but it has JRPG elements in it.
Wild Arms?
Is it Wild Arms?
I mean, it's very old. It's not an old game, right?
No. It's an indie game. Let me see.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me find it. Hold on.
That's the only thing that comes to mind when you say Western JRPG. Wild Arms.
Yeah,
it's really old.
Boot Hill Bounties.
It's indie. Never heard of it before.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good. Basically it's meant to be a JRPG, but like set in the Wild West. Cool. This one, I guess, is meant to be, you're supposed to be able to do 4-player local co-op if you want. I will not be doing that. Yeah.
Co-op in a JRPG is always a little weird.
Yeah. Everybody's just taking turns.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give it a try because they released it, I guess, back in March, but they just got it out for the Switch. So I'm gonna try it out.
They released it different. 15th of December 2017 for PC. So I'm guessing the Switch one's very new then.
Mm-hmm. So I'll be trying that out probably this weekend. So I'll be curious to see how that is, and we'll go from there. It'll be something at least different to play. So we'll see. But yeah, but otherwise I don't really have much.
Yeah, I don't really have anything. Fo, do you have anything?
One thing I kind of wanted to mention that I forgot that I've been doing a lot lately is reading a ton of comic books. And I read a really cool one called The Age of Reptiles, which is a textless dinosaur adventure. And it's noteworthy because I think like
Textless.
two podcasts ago, I'd mentioned really enjoying Jendy Tartakovsky's recent miniseries Primal, and he wrote the intro to the trade paperback of the Age of Reptiles. It's almost the exact same premise because Primal is just like a text or a dialogueless adventure in prehistoric times. His is a little more fantastical and violent, but it's interesting that they're like very similar. Like I feel like he should have credited the Age of Reptiles more publicly or something, like based off of the comic. Maybe it's in the credits, I just didn't see it.
Cool.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been reading a lot of like just really short, like indie stuff. It's been really good. I don't know. Once it's over, I'm gonna start reading Berserk. That's it.
Just one small little thing. If you have a PlayStation 4 and a US account, you can get Uncharted 1, 2, 3, the remastered one, and Journey for free.
Oh, nice.
Oh.
Yeah, like this one doesn't require the PlayStation Plus. So Plus you get like, a monthly like free games and stuff, right? But this is not part of the Plus. It's like part of COVID, I guess. I don't know. Like, yeah, COVID giveaways. You have until like May 5th, I think, to redeem it.
Gotcha. Cool.
I already have the Uncharted
industries
games.
are getting hit pretty hard by COVID. I wonder if video game industries are doing better during COVID.
The only way the
I know
movie
the
industry
Switch
is
had
going to
record
survive
sales.
is to release digitally.
Yeah.
Somehow, yeah.
And
I tried watching Onward, the new Pixar film. I turned it off for 20 minutes.
You didn't like it?
That's the one with the gay troll cop, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't like, if I hadn't seen a Pixar movie before, it would have blown me away. But like, as soon as the kid started going to high school and being awkward and his brother should have been embarrassing him, I was like, I've seen this before one too many times. Like maybe I'll watch it again when I'm in a different mood, but I just didn't have the patience.
The patience for it then? I get you.
Yeah.
I do want to see it. I will see it at some point, I'm sure.
Everyone else I know who's seen it has said it's really good, so I should, look it up and watch it.
I'm sure it won't be my favorite, but it's really hard for any Pixar movie to match up for me. Like, it'd be really hard to. It's one of my all-time favorite movies, period, so.
One last thing, I guess. Phantasy Star Online 2 is getting a Western PC release exclusively on the Microsoft Store that nobody uses. Dead on arrival. Dead on arrival. What the fuck?
Dead on arrival.
What a waste of time.
Yikes.
Hey. So yeah, this was a game that was released in 2012, but a lot of people want to play it. A lot of US Americans play it on the Japanese servers and shit.
Yeah.
But I believe you have to. There's a lot of workarounds that you need to do, I think. But yeah, don't release it on. This sounds like to me. I know it could have been just them paying for translations and stuff, maybe them paying for publishing rights and all that. But like, I don't know. It's just this is how you make sure your game does not do well in the market.
Yeah.
Even Epic Games would have been a better choice.
Yes.
Yeah.
Microsoft, nobody uses Microsoft, so it's so fucking shit. So yeah. That's too bad. Which is kind of weird because Microsoft is also releasing their game. I totally forgot. I played Gears of War 5.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I played 5 hours. I couldn't stand that shit. Because it had a free-to-play weekend, like last weekend, like the 12th of April weekend, and I was like, I've never played a Gears of War game. I feel like shooting things. Let's play the Gears of War game. I had to download 77 gigabytes. That was a lot of gigabytes. Interestingly enough, the Steam version is smaller by 23 gigabytes than the Microsoft Store version. I don't know how, but yeah. 100 gigabytes. Jesus Christ. But I played it and it wasn't very compelling. Maybe it was compelling like in Gears of War 1 when they just introduced the cover mechanics, but I was just really not hooked at all. I know a lot of people prefer playing the multiplayer components, especially like the horde mode and stuff, but I was just, I don't know, didn't really. So yeah, that's my foray into Gears of War, I guess. But I've heard that Gears Tactics, which is their XCOM-esque game, is quite good.
I heard that as well.
Yeah. Speaking of XCOM, there's also a new XCOM game that's out called, is releasing in a week on the 24th. It's called XCOM Chimera Squad, and it's in the future after XCOM 2, where the aliens, the alien management, I guess, they left, leaving all the soldiers. So there's basically like humans and aliens working together to coexist in peace. And this special squad is made up of like human and alien agents. And if you pre-order it, if you buy it now before May 5th, you will get 50% off. So yeah, it's a $20 game. It's like a standalone expansion.
Game. Okay.
Yeah, it's a standalone expansion. I think it won't be so long. But yeah, it's XCOM, 50% off at launch. I'm like, fuck, it's no brainer. I'm gonna get it. You get to use aliens and shit too. I really like that premise too, like the whole like mixture.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that. Anything else? I can't really think of anything else.
I don't think so.
Let's do the thing.
All right, this is Sarahscopic, Sarahscopic. I'm on Twitter mostly these days, but you can also catch me on RNG and T, that's ANDTEA, feelgood.com, but you can also follow us on Twitch. I stream there from time to time. That's it for me.
And I'm Foehamner. I'm kind of nowhere right now. If you wanted to message me that I would see it, don't use Twitter. You could use YouTube. You could use Facebook. You could try and find Discord. But I don't know. There's a non-zero chance I'll record something before our next podcast. I picked up a Muso of Berserk, so I might actually just play that.
Nice.
It'll for sure get copyright flagged, but it might be fun.
And I'm Pupunoob, and I'll be nowhere. This has been episode 171 of the playonultra podcast. Thank you very much for watching, listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.